Hello everybody, I am Aditya Sharma and I will be sharing with you the class 9 SOF IMO. There are multiple types of IMO, be wary of this. SOF IMO Set B, which was held on 28th November 2025. On 12th November, Set A was held with a different question paper. So don't get confused. This is Set B held on 28th November 2025. Level 1 answer key with explanations. So here is the answer key. You may pause the video if you just want to note down the answers, and you may skip to the questions which you need an explanation for. I shall be giving the explanation for each and every question. And so let us start. In a certain code language, relations is written as this, then how will highlight be written in the same code language? Now the first, not as the baking this video was made one day after the actual exam commenced on 29th November, and therefore there was no results available on the web, and so I am not exactly sure for the rest of the questions. I'm sure, but for question 1 and question 2, which are of logical reasoning, I am not sure what the answer is 100%, but I have somewhat an idea. So I have figured out the relation for the first four letters. I don't know for the rest five. We have R to T relation plus 2. So R plus 2 is T, R S T. Then E plus 3 is H, E F G H. Similarly, L plus 4 is P and A plus 5 is F. Similarly, in highlight, if we use the same logic, we will get H plus 2 is J, we will get I plus 3 is L, we will get G plus 2 is K, and we will get H plus G plus 4, sorry, and we will get H plus 5 is M. And the first four letters will be L, M, K, L, J, which are in option B. I am not 100% sure, as I said, for question 1 and this question 2, but it is most likely option B for question 1. And for question 2, if we look at the series, this series and this series, we will notice a pattern that if anything is repeated in the first and second box, so second figure, so like this square is repeated, it will not appear in the third figure. Here, this circle is repeated, the middle line and this horizontal line are repeated, and so they don't appear in the third figure. But anything that is not repeated, for example this and this, that will appear in the third figure. Everything same for this and this, so they appeared in the third figure. Now if we apply the same logic in this third series, we see that this incomplete pentagon and this vertical line are repeated, and everything is else is not. So the figure should look something like this, which is in option D. So according to me, option D should be the correct answer. Now moving on to question 3. A word arrangement machine, when given an input of words, rearranges them by following a particular rule in each step. This is an illustration. Problem fuss a big about, and in the after all these steps, a big fuss about problem. It seems very random. As per the rule followed, which is the last step for this input, take something into account. So it may seem very random, but there is a logic behind this. In each step, so for example, in the first step, the word with the least amount of letters, which in this case is one letter, is moved to its corresponding position. So the least amount of letters will come in the first position. Then in the second step, the second least word with the second least amount of letters, which is big here with 3 letters, comes to the second position. Then next is 4 letters, third position, and then 5 letters, fourth position. And so in the end, the words are arranged in the order of number of letters, which is replicated in option C. 2 letters, 4 letters, 5 letters, 7 letters, and 9 letters. Select the correct mirror image of the given combination of letters and numbers. Now this is the whole mirror. So when we take a mirror, Like for example, if we take a water image, then the image is uh, horizontally flipped. But when we take a mirror, then the image is vertically flipped. So when we take this string of text and we put a mirror to its left side, L will appear as the first letter, it vertically inverted, then A, then P, then 7, and so on. And we can see from the first two letters itself that the answer is option B. If you have any doubts in any of the questions or I did something wrong, then you may leave it in the comments. Now question 5, select the odd one out. Now when we see all the option figures, let's see the first figure. It contains a plus sign, a multiplication sign, an upward facing triangle, a downward facing triangle, a circle, and a square. And if you look at option 2, option B, and option C, they will also have these same 6 figures. But in option D, there are 2 circles instead of a circle and a multiplication sign, and therefore it is the odd one out. If the first and last digits of each of the following numbers are interchanged and 2 is multiplied to the middle digit, and then the numbers are arranged in ascending order, then what is the product of all the digits of the largest number thus formed? So let us convert these all numbers using the following rules. For each of the first and last digits are interchanged and 2 is multiplied to the middle digit. So 438 will become 864 527 704 886 and 643. We can see 886 is the largest one. What is the product of all the digits of the largest number formed? So 8 into 8, 64 into 6. The answer is option A, 384. Select a figure from the options which will continue the same series as established by the problem figures. Now this is a complicated one. In each of them, in each of the positions, the symbol is changing except the middle one. So let's look at that first. In the first figure, it is facing downwards. The second figure, it is facing to the bottom left. In the third figure, it is facing to the top left. And in the fourth figure, it is facing directly right. So now we can see it has moved 45 degrees, 90 degrees, and 135 degrees. So it should move 180 degrees and should face directly to our left. So already option B and option D are out. Now when we look at the symbols, we see two things. Firstly, the already existing symbols are moving in a chain. So in the first figure, the circle is here. In the second figure, it is here. In the third figure, it is here. In the fourth figure, it is here. Same is for triangles. The triangle in the first figure is here, second figure is here, third figure is here, and fourth figure is here. And so they form a sort of chain that the circle and triangle will always be in this order. And third figure, the multiplication sign is added. This will always be in this order. And so it's like a chain in which these symbols, for example, the multiplication symbol, are being added to one at a time in each figure. And the second thing we notice is that when there is a chain, the chain is moving, but let's say it is not moving. There is this in the initial figure has a circle and a triangle. The second figure is adding something before the chain. Third figure is adding something after the chain. The fourth figure is adding something before the chain. And so the fifth figure should add something after the chain. And because in the fourth figure the plus symbol is here, in the new figure the plus symbol will be here, the rest of the chain will be here, and the new thing added will be right here, which is not the case in option C, but it is in option A, which is therefore the correct answer. Question 8. Select the correct order of signs from the options given below so that the given equation becomes correct. This was just a simple calculation question. The answer is option D. 12 into 336 plus 440 is equal to 6 into 8, 48 minus 8, 40. Find the number of triangles formed in the given figure. So to make this easier for those who don't for those who haven't done this topic before, let's name each of these triangles. So let's name this small one A, this B, this C, this D, this figure, this is not a triangle, this is not a triangle, I'm naming this figure E, F, G, H, I. So I'm going to there are there are methods for finding the amount of triangles instead of just counting, but I will be just telling you the names of the triangles. So there is A, there is B, there is C, there is AB. If you look at this triangle, it contains both A and B, so I've named it AB. There is BC, there is ABC. So this is 6 triangles done. All right, this is A, this is B, this is C, AB, BC, ABC. Next is D, next is AE, next is DAE, then we have DF, then AEG, then BH, then CI, then DFAEG, then AEG. Sorry for making things complicated, but there's not many other ways to explain this. AEGBH, then BHCI, then um, instead of writing such long names, this triangle, this triangle, and then this huge triangle, the whole triangle. So there's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 plus 3 I represented here. 19 is the correct option. If you feel that there are any more triangles, compare it with the names here if any of them are not being repeated, or the three triangles I represented in this figure. Question 10. A big cube of 4 centimeter side is colored blue on all its faces. It is then cut into 64 smaller cubes of equal size having 1 centimeter side. How many smaller cubes have only one face colored? Now this is more of a visualization question, but I am drawing it. This will be the status of each face. I am just drawing one of these to give you a better idea. These are all the faces. Now, in each face, we have 16 cubes of 3 different types: corner cubes, edge cubes, and center cubes. We have to find the small amount of smaller cubes which have only one face, not more than one face, only one face colored. So, if the corner cubes, they have 3 faces colored. So, all the corner cubes are out. The edge cubes have 2 faces colored. So, all of the edge cubes are out, and that leaves only the center 4 cubes for each face with only one side colored. And there are 6 faces, so there will be 6 into 4, 24 faces in this new um, arrangement of 64 cubes which have only one face colored. Arrange the following words in the order in which they occur in a dictionary and select the correct option. So you can already see 3 of them are RECO and 2 of them are RECL. One is RECLA, which will come first, and then second will come RECLI. And so the order will be 2, 5, which we can already see is only in option C. So that is the correct answer. Then for the other 3, 4, 1, 3, you can check it is correct. Which of the following options does not satisfy the same conditions of placement of dots as the given figure? Now, some of you may not understand what this question means, what is asking. It's a little bit complicated. What this means is that if you take this dot is there in the triangle, in the square, and in the rectangle, but not the circle. Then this dot is in the triangle and rectangle, and the last dot is in the triangle, rectangle, and circle, and nothing else. And so we have to find which of the in which of the figures at least one of these dots is not possible. So for example, if there is no point, if there is no point where a triangle and a square meet, then that means that this dot will not be possible, and that figure would be the correct answer, because the question is does not satisfy. So in regard to this, option C will be correct, as there is no where the triangle and the circle meet, and so this dot or this third one is impossible to make in this scenario, which it is possible in all the other three, and so option C is the correct answer. Kalyani is the mother-in-law of Veena, who is the sister-in-law of Ashok. Dheeraj is the father of Sudeep, the only brother of Ashok. How is Kalyani related to Ashok? Now, Kalyani is the mother-in-law of Veena. That means Veena is married to someone whose mother is Kalyani. So Kalyani would be, yes, mother-in-law of Veena. Who is the sister-in-law of Ashok? So this statement refers to Veena. Veena is the sister-in-law of Ashok. So either Ashok's is married to Veena's sister, or yeah, Veena's sister, making him Veena's sister-in-law. But the question is, how is Kalyani related to Ashok? They have a very far relation. So we'll consider the other possibility, where Ashok is the brother of Veena's husband, making him Kalyani's son. So Kalyani will be the mother of Ashok. Dheeraj is the father of Sudeep, the only brother of Ashok. So that also makes sense in this scenario if this person is Sudeep, the only brother of Ashok, and Dheeraj is his father, who is married to Kalyani, the mother of Ashok, which is not there in the options. So the answer will be option D, none of these. Find the missing number if a certain rule is followed either row wise or column wise. Now, in this scenario, the rule is followed column wise, and the rule is 4 for the first case, 4 into 5 into 2. After we multiply this, we add the result to 4, 5, and 2. So here we get 4 into 5, 20 into 2, 40, plus 4, 44, plus 5, 49, plus 2, 51. Same for this, 8 into 4, 32, into 3, 96, plus 8, 104, plus 3, 107, plus 4, 111. And so for 7, 2, and 6, 7 into 6 is 42. 42 into 2 is 84, plus 7, 91, plus 2, 93, plus 6. Option A, 99 is the correct answer. Select a figure from the options which, when placed in the blank space, would complete the pattern. So in each of the 4 boxes, there are 3 major elements. One is this with a plus and minus sign, which are same in all 4 options, so we will not consider that. Then is um, this arc, which in when all 4 cubes placed together makes a circle. There is a line passing through, and there is another arc here, and in both of them, one of the parts is shaded, and if you will look at the 3 available boxes, the opposite sides are shaded. So if this right side is shaded, then here the left side will be shaded. And so in the option A, none are shaded. In option B, the same side is shaded. In option C, the same side is shaded. And in option D, opposite sides are shaded. Therefore, the answer is option D. Now, this was the logical reasoning section of 15 questions done. Now we are entering the everyday mathematics section. If p minus q root 7 is equal to root 7 minus root 1 root 7 minus 1 upon root 7 plus 1 minus root 7 plus 1 upon root 7 minus 1, then the value of q is what? Now we will go into simplify this and this separately. Root 7 minus 1 upon root 7 plus 1. Now there is a way, when the denominator is irrational, then there is a way to rationalize it by multiplying this fraction with the conjugate of the denominator. For a binomial, this conjugate, the conjugate is just the opposing sign in the middle, not behind minus. It will not be negative root 7, just the middle sign will change for a binomial. So root 7 minus 1 upon root 7 minus 1. When we multiply this, we are using two properties here. A square minus b square, two identities here. A square minus b square is a plus b into a minus b, and then a minus b whole square is a square plus b square minus 2ab. Now this is for the first part. For the second part, another will be used. A plus b whole square is equal to a square plus b square, but this time plus 2ab. That's the only difference. Now here, this is root 7 minus 1 into root 7 minus 1. So we can say this is a minus b whole square, where a is root 7 and b is 1. Therefore, this will be equal to a square, which is 7, plus b square, which is 1, minus 2ab, which is 2 into root 7 into 1, which is 2 root 7. So this will become 6 plus 2 root 7 in the numerator. Now for the denominator, we have root 7 plus 1 into root 7 minus 1. So you can say this of the form a plus b into a minus b. And so this will be equal to a square minus b square. Root 7 square is 7 minus 1 square is 1. So 6 will come in the denominator. And simplifying this, we get 3 plus, dividing the numerator and denominator by 2, we get 3 plus root 7 upon 3. Now if we do the same, uh, sorry, this will be minus 3 minus root 7 and 6 minus 2 root 7. Yeah, so if we do the same thing for this equation, this time in the denominator will remain the same, and after simplifying it will become 3, and in the numerator we will use a plus b whole square, and so instead of minus 2ab it will be plus 2ab. So instead of repeating this whole process, we can just simply say that it will be 3 plus uh, root 7. Now when we subtract this from this, minus, these will be combined, and we get 3 minus 3 minus root 7, and because there is a bracket here when we subtract this from this, so when you open the bracket, the sign changes. So this plus 3 becomes minus 3, so root 7 minus 3, and this root 3, this 3 plus root 7 becomes 3 minus root 7. So 3 minus 3 and negative root 7 minus root 7. So this becomes minus 2 root 7 upon 3. Now this is not of the form of p minus q root 7, but we can say that negative 2 root 7 upon 3 is 0 minus 2 root 7 upon 3. And we need to find q. Now the q root 7 is 2 by 3 root 7. Therefore q will be option A, 2 by 3. The coordinates of a point located 5 units away from the y-axis in the negative direction of x-axis and 3 units above the x-axis are. So we have a graph here. We have a Cartesian plane, y-axis and x-axis. So now 5 units away from the y-axis, we don't know which direction, in the negative direction of x-axis. So it is in this direction, and so therefore x is equal to negative 5. So if this is our coordinate, x is equal to negative 5, and we are shown that we are given that 3 units above the x-axis. So 1 2 3, it will be on this plane. So the point where these two meet, 3 units above the x-axis, means y coordinate will be 3. Option B, minus 5 comma 3. If this equation, then find value of 2n. Now this whole thing uses just a few rules of exponents that you should know. a power b into a power c is equal to a power b plus c. Then is a power b upon a power c is equal to a power b minus c. Then we have a power b power c is equal to a power b into c. This whole question revolves on just these three principles. Now, if you look at all of the base values 4, 8, 64, 2, and 4, they're all powers of 2. So you can convert them all to powers of 2. Now, 4 is equal to 2 power 2. I'm going to write our final expression here. LHS and equal to RHS. So 2 power n plus 3. 2 power 2 is 4. And so using this identity, we get 2 power 2 into n plus 3, which becomes 2 power 2n plus 6. Now multiplied by, we have 8, which is 2 power 3 power 3 minus n. Now 3 into 3 minus n is 9 minus 3n. And because we are multiplying with the same base using the first identity, this will go in the addition. So 9 minus 3n will come in the addition here. Plus 9 minus 3n. Now divide by 64. Now power n minus n by 2, power 2. Minus n by 2 into 2, 2 to cancel, this will become 64 power minus n. And 64 is equal to 2 power 6. And so 6 into minus n is negative 6n. So 2 power minus 6n. And because it is divided by the same base, using the second identity, this will come in the subtraction. So, and when something is when a negative number is subtracted, then the minus signs cancel and we get a plus. So this will be plus 6n. Now this comes out to be, when we solve this, it comes out to be 2 power 15 plus 5n is equal to, now 2 power 9n, the picture may not be very clear, but it's 9n, and this is 3n. So 2 power 9n into 4 power 3n. 4 is 2 power 2 and 2 into 3n is 2 power 6n now. And because it's multiplying, we add it. And so the RHS comes out to be 2 power 15n. So therefore 2 power 15 plus 5n is equal to 2 power 15n. And therefore 15 plus 5n is equal to 15n. So we can easily solve this. Take 5n to the right side. 15 is equal to 10n, and n is equal to 15 upon 10, taking 10 to the left side. And when we simplify this, it comes out to be 3 by 2. And so 2n is 2 into 3 by 2, where 2 and 2 cancel, and the answer is option C, 3. In the given figure not drawn to scale, O is the center of the circle. Find x. Now let's take triangle BAO. We have, we know O is the center, so O is the radius, OA, and OB is also radius. And so OA is equal to OB, making this an isosceles triangle. So angle OAB is equal to angle ABO is equal to 50 degrees. Now taking this BCO triangle, we have angle OCB is equal to angle OBC is equal to 35 degree. And so angle ABC, which is OBC plus ABO, you can see, is equal to 50 plus 35 is 85 degree. Now When we look at the whole quadrilateral BADC, BADC, it is a cyclic quadrilateral because all 4 points lie on the circumference of the circle. And there is one important property of cyclic quadrilaterals, that the opposite angles sum to 180. So A plus C is 180 and B plus D is 180. And we know B, which in this case is ABC, is 85 degree. And so angle D, which is equal to X, which is what you have to find, is equal to 180 minus 85 is option D, 95. In the given figure, lines X, Y, and M intersect at O. If POI is 90 and A ratio B is 2 ratio 3, then XON is equal to what? The options were not very clear, that's why I wrote it on the side: 126, 130, 90, and 180. Now, POI is 90 degrees and XOY is a line, so angle XOY will be 180 degrees. So, angle XOP, which is A plus B, is equal to 180 minus POI, which is 90 degrees. Now, A 180 minus 90 is 90. And you know A ratio B is 2 ratio 3. So A is 2. A is equal to 2x. B is equal to 3x. And A plus B is 90. So 2x plus 3x, 5x is equal to 90. X is equal to 18. And so A is 2x. A is equal to 36 degree. B is equal to 54 degree. Now there are multiple ways to go on from here. The easiest way is taking the line MN. Obviously this whole angle is 180, and so we can say 180 is B. Now B is 54. B plus angle XON, which we have to find. So XON is 180 minus 54, that is option A, 126. This is a graph question. In both years together, find the ratio of expenditure of Q to S. This is 12, this is 18, this is 14, this is 16. So this is 16 plus 14 is equal to 18 plus 12, that is 15 ratio 50. This is 30 ratio 30, that is 1 ratio 1. And then for the second question, for which of the following families change in percentage expenditure was maximum? We can already see from the graph that P and Q cannot have the highest percentage change, and between R and Q and S, Q and R, P and S cannot have. For Q it is 18 minus 12 upon 12, which is 6 upon 12, or 1 by 2 into 100. That is 50% change, 50% increase. And then for R it is this is 10, this is 14. So 14 minus 10 upon 10, 4 by 10, or 2 by 5 into 100, which is 40%. And so therefore the answer is option B, Q. Find the total area of the shaded region in the given figure not drawn to scale. Now, not drawn to scale is why I have drawn this triangle. Let me name all the points: A, B, C, D, E. Now, I have drawn this figure because it's not to scale. So, what if E is not the midpoint of DC? It looks like here, but what if it is not the midpoint of DC? What if this is 17 centimeter and this is 3 centimeter? Then what will happen? Now, one thing we have to assume to solve this question is that this figure is a rectangle with this side parallel to this side, parallel and equal, this parallel and equal to this side. So when we draw a line, let's suppose that this square does not exist for now. We'll add it later. Let's suppose that E is joined to AB through a line which is parallel to AD and BC. Then name this point F. Now AFED is a rectangle and AE is its diagonal. A diagonal divides a rectangle into two halves by area. So if this is x, this is x. And same for BFEC. BE is its diagonal, it divides it in half. So if this is y, this is y. So now here, this is the shaded region. We have to find this area. The area will be half of the whole rectangle, which is 40 into 20, for 800 centimeters square. Half will be 400 centimeters square. And so the answer is not 400 centimeters square, because we have to take into consideration this square also. This square, this 2 by 2 centimeters square is also shaded. The area is 4, and so 4 will be added, and so the answer will be 404 centimeters square. Select the correct option. When x is 5, y is 2.5, and when y is 5, x is 10, then x and y are inversely proportional. This is false, because y is increasing and x is also increasing, so they cannot be inversely proportional. When x is 10, y is 5, and when x is 20, y is 2.5, then xy is constant. 10 into 5 is 50, 20 into 2.5 is 50. This is the correct answer. But let's look at these two options also. If x and y vary inversely, then on decreasing x, y will decrease in proportion. That's false. Both are decreasing, they cannot be inverse. And if x and y vary directly, then on decreasing x, y will increase. That is inverse, that is not direct. So therefore, the answer is option B. If x square minus 1 is a factor of this, the powers are not written very clear, so I wrote it here. Then select the correct option. Now, if x square minus 1 is a factor, there is a method to putting the value of x, where if a binomial is a factor, we are sure, like for example, x square minus 1 we have. So then we will take x square minus 1 is equal to 0. Therefore, to find the value of x, and when we plug in the value of x in this equation will be equal to 0. That is how we figure out if this is a factor or not. And if this is a factor, then we find the value, then we can find the value of x for which this equation will be 0. So x square is equal to 1, x is equal to 1. Therefore x is equal to 1. Now, or x could be equal to minus 1 also, because the square of minus 1 is also 1. Now let's look at both cases. When we plug in both values, the answer should be 0. Now, ax power 4. Now here x is 1, so we can just ignore all of the terms with x. They won't have any implications on the remaining terms. A plus b plus c plus d plus e is equal to 0. Now, but what if we take minus 1? X minus 1 power 4 is 1, so it will remain a. But minus 1 power 3 is minus 1, so it will be minus b plus c minus d plus e is equal to 0. So when we take b and d to the right side, a plus c plus e is equal to b plus d. But this is not there in the options, and there is nothing else we can infer from just this much data. We can just infer that plus b minus d doesn't make a difference. So b plus d is equal to negative of b plus d, which is minus b minus d, and therefore b plus d is equal to 0. And same for this, a plus c plus e is equal to 0. But there's nothing we can infer from this. So the answer is option D, none of these. If I have gotten anything wrong in any of the questions, please notify me in the comment section, and I might take down this video and upload a new one. Depends. But still, please alert me. Now, the value of this minus 1 is what? Now, this also follows some basic exponent rules. A power b, or in this case x power a, upon x power b is equal to x power a minus b. Then x power a par b is equal to x par a into b. That, and then x par a into x par b is equal to x par a plus b. It's again those three same identities. Now let's solve this thing first. x x bar a upon x bar b is x bar a minus b. So this is x bar a minus b power this thing a square plus ab plus b square. And so when we multiply this, we'll get a big uh, polynomial, but it is like plus a square b plus minus a square b, something like that. So after all the cancellations are done, we will get x bar a cube minus b cube. This is what we will get. You can do the you can solve this for yourself. This is what you will get. Now taking this part, it is the exact same as the first part. It's just a is replaced with b and b is replaced with c. So you can say that this, we don't need to do the calculation. This will be x bar b cube minus c cube, and the third one again will be x bar c cube minus a cube. And although there is no multiplication sign in between, there is no other sign in between, and there are no more powers. So this is multiplication. And so this will be x bar a cube minus b cube plus b cube minus c cube plus c cube minus a cube. So minus c cube plus c cube cancel, minus b cube plus b cube cancel, and a cube minus b cube cancel. My a cube minus a cube cancel. This comes out to be x bar 0. And anything par 0, there's another identity. X par 0, no matter what x is, will always be 1. So x power 0 is equal to 1. There are some cases where this is not true, but those are like where infinity or imaginary numbers or and whatnot. Based on the class 9 syllabus, x bar 0 is equal to 1. And so therefore, this whole thing, uh, sorry, this whole thing is equal to 1. But we have to, this is how the IMO exam makers, the SOF, tricks you. There is also minus 1 here, and so this 1 minus 1, the answer will be option B, 0. This is what you have to be careful for while attempting these IMO exams. If the graph of the equation 5x plus 12y is 60 cuts the coordinate axis at points P and Q, then find the length of PQ. Now, when it cuts the coordinate axis, when it cuts the x-axis, that means at that point the y will be equal to 0, and when it cuts the y-axis, at that point x will be equal to 0. So when x is 0, we get 5x plus 12y is 0 plus 12y is 60, and so in that case y will be equal to 5. And what about when y is 0? Then it becomes 5x plus 0 is 60, and in that case x becomes 12. And so these 2 points we have, when you make a graph, we have the points x 0 comma 5, so that is about right here, and then 12 comma 0, which is about right here. When we join these, you have to find this distance p q, whatever, it doesn't matter which is p, which is q. You have to find this distance, and we can using the Pythagoras theorem. This is a triangle with 90-degree here, and we know that this distance is 5 units, this distance is 12 units. Using Pythagoras theorem, we will get this distance to be 13 units, option C. A cone of height 14 centimeter and base radius 1 is carved from a cuboidal block of wood. Assuming pi is 22/7, what is the percentage of wood wasted in the process? Now the volume of a cone is pi r square h. So r square is 1 only, that doesn't matter. We can say in this case it is pi h. 22/7. Sorry, for cone it is 1/3 pi r square h. So we can say 14/3 into pi, which we are assuming 22 by 7 based on the question's orders. 7, 14, 2. This becomes 44 by 3. Now, for the cuboidal block, the volume is 50. 15 into 5 into 2, 15 into 5, 75 into 2, 150, which in terms of this is 450 upon 3. So we are carving out 14 by 3, sorry, 44 by 3 from 450 by 3. What is the percentage of wood wasted in the process? So this will be 450 minus 44 upon 450, and for the percentage into 100%. And so this will be 406 upon 450 into 100%. This cancel, this will become 4060 upon 45, and the answer will come out to be 90.2222 bar, basically extending on indefinitely. And when we solve this using, there is a method where x is equal to this, and then 10x is equal to 902.2 bar, and then 10x minus x, which is 9x, is 902.2 bar minus 90.2 bar. So 9x is equal to 812, x is equal to 812 by 9. When we solve this, we will get 812 by 9 is equal to 92 by 9, which is option A. If 40% of x is y, then y% of 20 is the same as what? Now 40% means 40 by 100. So 40 by 100 of x, so 40x by 100 is equal to y. Now y% of 20. So y is equal to 40x by 100. So y% is y by 100. So 40x by 100 upon 100. This is known as a complex fraction, where you put 100 upon 1 here, and then take its and then multiply this with its reciprocal. And so this is what we get: 40x upon 10,000. And we have to find y% of 20. So into 20. This will cancel. This will cancel. This will become 8 by 100 x, which is equal to 8% of x. Option A. Which of the following statements is not correct? The greatest common factor of x square y cube and x cube y square and x square y square. This is correct. X minus 3y is a factor of x power 4 minus 9 x square y square. If x minus 3y is a factor, as we said before, you will take x is equal to 3y, and so therefore x power 4 is equal to 81 y power 4 minus 9 into 9y square into y square. This is equal to uh, 81y4. So this is correct. Now the fourth one, 2x minus 1 is a factor of 4x square minus 1. That is also correct. You will be able to find it. Again, same thing. X, 2x minus 1, 2x is equal to 1. X is 1 by 2. 4x cube minus 1. X cube is 1 by 2. Whole cube is 1 by 8. Oh, sorry, this is x square. The power is not written the image is not very clear. It is 4x square. X square is 1 by 2, whole square is 1 by 4. 4 by 4 is 1, 1 minus 1 is 0. So option C is the incorrect one. And we see 3x power 5 minus 3x upon 3x power 3 plus 3x. We get, when we take out 3x from both numerator and denominator and cancel it, we get x power 4 minus 1 upon x square plus 1 is equal to x square plus 1. And so therefore x4 minus 1 is equal to x square plus 1 whole square. And when you whole square this, x power 4 plus 1 plus 2x square, which is just not correct. X power 4 minus 1, we just cannot say that. So therefore option C is wrong, and that is what is asked in the question. Select the incorrect option. Two distinct lines cannot have more than one point in common. That is true. In the below figure, if PR is equal to QS, then PQ is equal to RS. That is also true. These are all Euclid's axioms, it seems. A terminated line can be produced indefinitely. That's just a straight up Euclid axiom. And between points P and Q, there are infinitely many lines that contains both the points. That is wrong. So if I take a point P and a point Q, there is only one line which contains both the points. This is not a very good line, but you get my point. There's only one line. This line does not contain both P and Q. This line only contains Q, not P. And any other line that contains both P and Q will be the exact same line. So the answer is option D. It is given that triangle ABC is congruent to, this is congruent symbol, triangle FDE. So we take two triangles ABC, and in congruency the order matters. So if ABC is congruent to FDE, it is possible that ABC is not congruent to DFE. So we have to make sure the order is correct. We can't just write DEF. You have to write FDE because it's given in the question. That is how IMO tricks you. AB is 5 centimeter. Now these are congruent. That means FD must also be 5 centimeter. Angle B is 40. That means here angle D is 40. And angle A is 80. That means angle F must be 80. And by triangle sum property, angle C is 60 and angle E is 60. Which of the following is definitely true? DF is 5 centimeter or DE is 5 centimeter? Answer is DF. DE could be 5 centimeter, but that's not definitely true. DF is definitely true. And then out of these two options, F or E is 60 degrees. E is 60 degrees. So the answer is option B. In a trapezium ABCD, AB parallel to CD. So let's make a trapezium. It could be, I'm making it like this. You can make it a different way also. You can make it like this also, that doesn't matter. A Actually that does matter in this question. A, B, C, D. So AB is the side parallel to CD and P is the midpoint of side AD. So here is the midpoint P. Uh, and Q is a point on side CB. We don't know, Q could be here, Q could be here, Q could be here, such that PQ is parallel to AB. That means there's only one possibility of Q on the whole line of BC, on line segment of BC, where PQ is parallel to AB. If AB is 14 centimeter and CD is 8 centimeter, then find the length of PQ. Now there is a proof for this which requires a construction. The construction is you have to join one of the diagonals. I am joining A to C. You could join B to D also. And this is using the property where in a triangle, if you join the midpoints of two sides, like if P and Q are the midpoints of this side, this is equal to this and this is equal to this, then this line will be parallel to this one line and it will be half of this line. So PQ will be equal to half of, let's say this is AB, PQ equals AB upon 2. This is a property, important property of triangles called the midpoint theorem. Now, if we take a look at triangle ADC. We know that PQ is parallel to AB and DC also. Let's take this point to be um, E. So PE is parallel to DC. Now the converse of the midpoint theorem I just told you is that if a line is parallel to the third side and one of the points is a midpoint, then the second side will also be a midpoint. If this is given, then the theorem says that this will also be the midpoint. Just like here, E will also become the midpoint. So E is the midpoint of line AC. And now taking the triangle BAC, BAC, we see that again the same thing. EQ is parallel to AB and E is a midpoint. So that means Q is also midpoint of BC. So this whole setup was to prove that Q a midpoint, is the midpoint of BC. Now we need to find the length of PQ. Now again, as I told you as part of the midpoint theorem, the side AB will be double of EQ. EQ will be half of AB and PE will be half of DC. So writing these equations down, PE is equal to um, half DC, or in DC, and EQ is half AB. Now PE plus EQ is PQ. So when we add up this two, and these two, the result will also be equal. So PQ is equal to half DC plus half AB. We take half common, half of DC plus AB. Here we have DC is 8 and AB is 14. So half of 8 plus 14, 8 plus 14 is 22, half of it is 11, option D. Don't worry, this was a very hard question. Construction was required. It's alright if you got it wrong, if you didn't understand. It's a very hard question. For which of the following equations is x equals 3 a solution? This you basically had to plug in the value of x as 3 into all of these. The correct answer is option D. Negative x minus 1, 3 minus 1 is 2, negative 2 plus 9 is 7. That's correct. Which is incorrect. If A and B are consecutive, now this may seem confusing as you might think that all four are correct. Like, look at this. A and B are consecutive rational numbers where A is smaller than B. Then A plus B upon 2 is also smaller than B. That is true because A plus B upon 2 is the formula for the number exactly in between A and B. And because B is greater than A, B is greater than the point in between. The same logic is for option B. X plus y upon 2 is rational, which lies between x and y. That's just what I said. Option C, rational numbers are associative under subtraction. That is true. And option D, the rational numbers 5 by 3 and negative 1 by 3 are lying on the opposite sides of 0 on the number line. So, oh, sorry. Rational numbers are not associative under subtraction. I thought associative. I mixed up associative and another property. So, yes, the option C will be correct. Rational numbers are associative under subtraction because that is not true. For those who don't remember what associative was, even I didn't remember when I was giving the exam yesterday. Um, Associative means if A minus B minus C, if A minus B is in brackets, then this will be equal to A minus bracket mein B minus C. This is associative property. For addition, for subtraction, it is false. The cost of an apple is twice that of a banana, and the cost of a banana is 25% less than that of a guava. If the cost of each type of fruit is increased by 10%, then the percentage change in the total cost of 4 bananas, 2 apples, and 3 guavas is what? Now you could have assumed a value for all three of these and done the calculations. That would have been better because of the time limitation in IMO, but I'll be showing you how to do it mathematically. Now the cost of an apple, let's say the cost of a banana is X. Or how about, let's say the cost of a guava is X. So cost of a banana, so x is equal to 100 by 100x. I'm going to write everywhere 100 by 100x. This is going to be important later, that's why I'm writing it. 100 by 100x is the same thing as x. Um, a banana is 75 by 100x. 75 by 100 of 100 by 100x multiplied by 100 by 100, because cost of banana is 25% less, so it will become 75 by 100 of x, and x is equal to 100 by 100x. And cost of an apple is twice of banana, so 150 by 100. You might be getting confused right now, but all I'm doing is I'm writing 100 by 100 with x. It will be important later. Into 100 by 100x. Now, if the cost of each type of fruit is increased by 10%, then percentage change in total cost of 4 bananas, 2 apples, and 3 guavas is what? So, firstly, let's calculate what 4 bananas, 2 apples, and 3 guavas was previously. So 3 guavas is equal to 3 into 100, 3 into 100 by 100 of x. um for bananas, 4 bananas, so it will be 4 into this, and 2 apples, 2 into this. Now when each cost of each fruit is increased by 10%, now when we're taking these together, we will add this, right? Now increased by 10%, so the new cost will be 110 by 100 of the original cost. That's why I was writing 100 by, so this will become 103 into 110 by 100 of x, and taking 110 by 100 common in each of these, we get 3x plus 4 into 75 by 100 of um, x plus 2 into 150 by 100 of x, which was the previous cost. So 110 by 100 of this, and that is again just a 10% increase, option B. I'm sorry if I'm not able to explain this question properly. You may look it up from Google or anywhere, because I did not see how I could explain this question better. Alright, question 37. A traffic light can show red, yellow, or green. If each color has an equal chance of appearing, then what is the probability that it shows green? This was a very simple question. Answer is option A, 1 by 3. An express train traveled at an average speed of 120 km per hour, stopping for 3 minutes after every 90 kilometers. How long did it take to reach its destination? 720 kilometers from the starting point. So firstly, let's find how much time the train takes to travel 90 kilometers. It does 120 kilometers in an hour. In 1 hour is equal to 90 kilometers upon the amount of the time it takes. We multiply it, let's say x. 120x is equal to 90. X is equal to 90 by 120 is equal to 3 by 4. X is equal to 3 by 4 of an hour, which is equal to 45 minutes. Now, it stops for 3 minutes after every 90 kilometers. So for the total 90 kilometers, it takes a total of 48 minutes before it starts its next 90 kilometers. And 720 kilometers is equal to 8 batches of these 90 kilometers, which takes, so 8 into 48 minutes. That will be equal to 384 minutes. 384 minutes is equal to 6 hours and 24 minutes, option B. Now the age of father is 3 years more than 3 times the son's age. 3 years hence the age of father will be 10 years more than twice the age of son. Present age of father and son are respectively what? Now, I'm going to be honest, what I did in the paper, I saw that 14, 3 years more than 3 times the son's age. That is not suitable for option A or B, and I tried option C, it worked. So I got the answer as option C. That's what I did in the IMO, and I'm sure most people must have done that. But here is the mathematical explanation. So current age, let's say current age of son is X. So father is equal to 3x plus 3 currently. This is father and this is son. Now 3 years in the future, 3 plus x, and this will become 3x plus 3. 3x plus 3 plus 3, again 3x plus 6. But then we also given age of father will be 10 years more than twice the age of son. So 2 into 3 plus x plus 10 is equal to 6 plus 2x plus 10. So therefore 3x plus 6 is equal to 2x plus 16. Therefore by solving this we get x is equal to 10, which is the current son's age. And if we can also fact check this, we also have to fact check if the father is, this option could have been 34, and so just going off by this 10 is not a good we should not do that. So 10 into 3 is 30 plus 3 is 33. Therefore option C is the correct answer. Question 40. An artist is creating a cylindrical base for a sculpture. She plans to make the base 16 centimeter tall and 3.5 centimeter wide using melted down coins as the material. Each coin has a diameter of 1.4 centimeter and a thickness of 0.4 centimeter. How many coins will she need to complete the task? So we need to see that how many times, like for example, here the answer is 250. I'll show you how many times of the volume of this coin is equal to the volume of this cylindrical base. The volume of this cylindrical base is it's a cylinder, so pi r square h. R is equal to 3.5 centimeter wide. Therefore, the radius is 1.75 centimeter. Pi r square h. So this will become 16 into 1.75 into pi. Now for the coin is also technically a type of cylinder. So its volume will also be found like that way. Diameter is 1.4 centimeter. So the radius will be 0.7 centimeter. So it is this is r square. So into 1.75 also. And the coin will be 0.4 into 0.7 into 0.7 pi. Now, after doing the calculations, I'm not going to do the calculations here, but after doing the calculations, we get this cylinder, the artist's cylinder, what she plans to make as 49 pi, the volume. And for this, for each coin, it is 0.196 pi. We don't need to include the pi will remain constant. And when we divide them, 49 divided by 0.196, we get 250. So we basically, for 9 pi upon 0.196 pi get cancelled. The answer is 250, option C. A gardener has a total of 2249 plants. He arranges them in rows to form perfect square, but finds that there are 40 plants left out. Now, how do you do this? There are 40 plants left out. So 2249 minus 40, 2209 plants were arranged in a perfect square, which means 2209. If you don't know the root of 2209, which even I did not know when I was giving the exam, I just calculated using the way how you calculate roots. 4 4 16, this is 609, this comes 880 something, 80, like for example 87. If I say 7, then 87 into 7, so the answer, yes, it is 7. 57 into 7 is 609. And so the root of 2209 is 47. Option A. A part of monthly, now I got the sections wrong when I said at question 16 you're getting everyday mathematics, it was mathematical reasoning, and from question 36 it was everyday mathematics, but that's okay. A part of monthly expenses of a family on milk is fixed, which is 700 rupees, and the remaining varies with quantity of milk taken extra rate of 25 per liter. Taking the quantity of milk required extra is x liters and total expenditure on milk is y rupees. Write a linear equation from the above information. So the total expenditure on milk is y. All right. What total expenditure on milk is y. Now we know that there is a fixed 700 rupees and 700 is part of that y. 700 plus something is y. Now taking quantity of milk required extra is x liters, and it's the rate of 25 per liter. So 25 rupees into x extra liters is equal to plus 700 rupees is equal to rupees y, and rearranging this whole thing, 700 is equal to y minus 25x, and y minus 25x is equal to negative 25x plus y, which is option 1, option A, the answer. Inside a triangular park, there is a flower bed forming a similar triangle. Around the flower bed runs a uniform path of such a width that the sides of the park are exactly 1.5 times of the corresponding sides of the flower bed. The ratio of area of path to flower bed is what? Now we have a where's my cursor? Yeah, we have a triangular path. You have a triangle basically. You have a triangular park and a flower bed with a similar triangle, which means all the sides are in equal ratio and all the angles are equal. That's what a similar triangle means. Now, a uniform path, this is around the flower bed, this is the path of such a width that the sides of the park are exactly 1.5 times of corresponding sides of flower bed. So if this side is x, this is 1.5x. If this is y, this is 1.5y. I wrote x, sorry. And if the third side is z, this is 1.5z. Now we have to find the ratio of area of path to flower bed. Now the area, there is a formula for area, root s minus a, s minus b, s minus c. S is equal to sum of all sides upon 2. So s of the flower bed is x, let's say it is equilateral or whatever, x this is x y z, x y z. So s is x plus y plus z upon 2. Now s of the semi-perimeter of the whole triangular park will be 1.5x plus 1.5y plus 1.5z upon 2. We can take 1.5 common, x plus y plus z upon 2. So in the formula, root s minus a, s minus b, s minus c. The S of the triangle is 1.5 times of the flower bed. So you can write 1.5 here. S minus A. Again, this is 1.5. S minus 1.5A. And taking 1.5 common, you can write 1.5 here. And same another 1.5 here. And another 1.5 here. And when we take out the 1.5, 1.5, we get 1.5 into 1.5 extra. So the area of the triangular park, the whole triangle park, is 2.25 times area of flower bed. This is a triangle. So the area of triangular park is 2.25 of into the area of this. So if the area of this is A, then the area of the triangle is, the triangular park is 2.25a. The ratio of the flower bed to the whole triangle is 1 ratio 2.25, which is equal to 4 ratio 9. Let's write it 9 ratio 4, which is triangle to flower bed. Now we need to find the path. Let's say the area of the triangular park is 9x and the flower bed is 4x. Because this is the ratio, we can write this. The area of the path is 9x minus 4x is 5x. And so the ratio of area of path to flower bed will be 5 ratio 4, not 4 ratio 5, 5 ratio 4 is the ratio. Option B is the correct answer. Two pipes A and B can fill a cistern in 12 hours and 15 hours respectively. The pipes are opened simultaneously and it is found that due to leakage in the bottom, it took 80 minutes more to fill the cistern. When the cistern is full, in what time does the leak empty it? Now, A fills the cistern in 12 hours. So, A fills 1/12 of the cistern, which is equal to 5/60th of the cistern per hour. So, A does 5/60th of the cistern per hour. B does 1/15th of the cistern per hour, which is equal to um, 4/60th of the cistern per hour. I wrote upon 6, I converted into form upon 60 to get the same base here. So when the pipes are open simultaneously, so A or B simultaneously both do a combined 9/60 of the, fill 9/60 of the cistern per hour. Now, um, how much time will they take to fill the whole cistern without, let's say there is no leakage? Then it will take 6 hours to fill 54/60, and the remaining 6/60, it will the remaining 6/60 of the cistern, it will take 6/9 of an hour is equal to 40 minutes. So it will take 6 hours 40 minutes to fill the whole cistern without any leaks. Now, when the leak is there, it takes 80 minutes extra. 80 minutes is 1 hour, 20 minutes extra, so total 8 hours to fill the a cistern. So total per hour amount of cistern being filled by A and B combined and the leak is equal to 1/8. 1/8 of the cistern. So the leakage per hour, the work done by the leakage per hour is 9/60 minus 1/8, which is 18/120 minus um, 15 by 120. That is 3 by 120. That is 1 by 40. So the leakage drains 1/40th of the cistern per hour. That means it will take 40 hours to drain the entire cistern once it's filled. That is not in the options. Answer is option D, none of these. Geeta spent rupees x cube plus 1 by x cube on shopping. Her friend Tina wanted to know the amount spent by her. Geeta did not disclose the amount, but she gave a clue that x plus 1 by x is rupees 8. Find the amount spent by Geeta. Now we have x plus 1 by x. X plus 1 by x is equal to rupees 8. We need to find x cube plus 1 by x cube. So what we're going to do, we are going to take both sides whole cube. Alright, so on the right side we get 512 rupees. On the left side, now we don't just get x cube plus 1 by x cube. There is a formula that a cube plus b cube is a plus b whole cube is a cube plus b cube plus 3a square b plus 3ab square. So x plus 1 by x whole cube is x cube. I'll write it there. X cube plus 1 by x cube, which is what we need to find, but there is an addition 2, plus 3a square b, 3 into x square into 1 by x, plus 3ab square, so 3 into x into 1 by x. Now here x out of from x square and x, this will be cancelled, and Here, this will be cancelled. So this will become plus 3x plus 3 upon x. And taking 3 common, we can write this as 3 into x plus, because it's 3x plus 3 by x, or 3 into 1 by x. So we can take 3 common and say x plus 1 by x. And we know x by x plus 1 by x is 8. So we can write this as 3 into 8, which is 24, is equal to 512. And so when we take 24 towards that side, x plus 1, x cube plus 1 by x cube is 512 minus 24 is equal to option B, 488. Read the given statements carefully. Now this is the achiever section. The 5 questions, 46, 47, 48, 49 and 50 are of achiever section, which are the hard questions worth 3 marks each instead of 1 mark. Read the given statements carefully and select the correct option. Statement 1, ABCD is a parallelogram. If L and M are points on AB and DC respectively, and AL equals CM, then LM and BD bisect each other. So we have ABCD parallelogram. If L and M are points on AB and DC respectively, and AL is equal to CM. So L is the same distance from A as M is from C. So this is equal to this, and because AB was equal to DC, this will be equal to this, and because it's a parallelogram, this is equal to this. Alright. Then LM and BD bisect each other. So we're going to join LM and BD. They bisect each other. We need to prove this. Now, if we label this point as N, then we can prove triangle L and B congruent to triangle D and M. So firstly, we know AB is parallel to DC. So taking LM as transversal, this angle is equal to this angle. And again, taking BD as transversal, this angle is equal to this angle. So so by ASA criterion, ASA is one of the four four congruency criterions in class 9 for triangles. So therefore triangle D and M is congruent to triangle B and L. And so by CPCD, common part of common triangle, I don't remember the full form, because these two triangles are congruent, DN is equal to BN and NM is equal to LN. Therefore LN is equal to NM, so the line BD bisects LM, and same for um, BD. So this statement is true. So already option C and option D are out. Now for the second statement. P is the midpoint of side AB of a parallelogram ABCD. P is the midpoint of side AB of parallelogram ABCD. If a line through B parallel to PD meets DC at Q and AD produced at R, then AR equals BC and BR equals 3BQ. Let me just draw the figure without erasing the parallelogram. Alright, so P is the midpoint of AB. If a line through B parallel to PD, so when we join PD, we have a parallel line BQ, and this means AD produced at R. So when we produce AD, So this line BQ, actually I'm just gonna draw this. Oh, that doesn't make it parallel. What am I doing? Um, this joins at R. This point is R. So this statement says that AR is equal to BC and BR is equal to 3BQ. Now, this is a parallelogram ABCD. So we know that AD is equal to BC, and obviously dr is not 0 centimeter because bq is not a diagonal of the parallelogram, so that means ad has to be produced, and so therefore ar cannot be equal to bc because ad is equal to bc, and ad plus this cannot be equal to bc unless this is 0, which it is not. So this statement is false, and so the answer is option b. Statement 1 is true but statement 2 is false. Solve the following and select the correct option. Now, obviously, all four options of these are different in both cases, so we only have to solve one of them. I will solve both of them for your understanding. First part, the sides of a triangular plot are in the ratio 357 and perimeter is 300 meter. Find the area. So the sides are 3x, 5x, and 7x. So the sum is 15x is equal to 300 meter. X is equal to 20, and so our sides are 3x, 5x, and 7x, right? So 3 into 20, 60 meter, 5 into 20, 100 meter, and 7 into 20, 140 meter. We need to find the area of the triangular plot. So semi-perimeter is, we're going to use root s minus a, s minus b, s minus c. So 140 plus 100, 240 plus 60, 300 ka half, 150. So root of 150 into 150 minus 140, that is 10, into 150 minus 100, that is 50, into 150 minus 60, that is 90. So out of 90, 90 is 9 into 10 and 9 is 3 square, so 3 will come out. Then 10 and 10 will come out. So this is cancelled. And then this is 5 into 10, this is 15 into 10. So another 10 will come out, this will be 15 and 5, and a 5 will come out. And then there will be a root 3 left inside due to the 15. So 10 into 10, 100, 5 into 3, 15, 1500 root 3, which is option B. Now for the second part, a square and equilateral triangle have equal perimeters. So all the sides are equal, right? So 3x is equal to 4x, 4y. If y is the side of square and x is side of triangle. Diagonal of the square is 12 root 2 centimeter. Find the area of equilateral triangle. So we have a square. Yeah, I'll just draw the full square. It should be able to um, autocorrect it to become a square. Yeah. The diagonal of the square is 12 root 2. By Pythagoras theorem, 12 root 2 whole square, or 144 into 2, that is 288, is equal to s square plus s square. So 2 into side square, and we divide by 2 there. 144 is equal to s square. S is equal to 12. So the side of the square is 12 centimeters. There's another trick. You can just use this trick. This always works. That whenever the hypotenuse of a right angle triangle has a root 2 in it, then when you remove the root 2 and the other two sides are equal, then when you remove the root 2, the you will get the side. So we have the side of the square is 12, and as I said, 3x is equal to 4y. The perimeter is equal. So let's just say the perimeter here for the eraser. Yeah, perimeter for the square is 12 into 4, 48. And so each side of the equilateral triangle is 48 upon 3, which is 16 centimeter. So we have a triangle, equilateral triangle with 16 centimeter side. need to find the area of the triangle. Now, I'm just going to use the there is a formula for area of equilateral triangle. Root 3 by 4 a square, where a is the side, which is 16 in this case. So root 3 by 4 into 16 into 16. So this will cancel with 4, and it will become root 3 into 16 into 4. 16 into 4 is 64, so the answer will be 64 root 3, which is again in option B. Solve the following and select the correct option. Again, this is the same thing, but this time you have to solve both the questions to get the answer. First part. In the given figure not drawn to scale, AB is parallel to CD. ABR is 45, ROD is 105. Find the value of ODC plus BOD. Alright, the sum of those two angles. Now, BOD is very easy because there's a line BR whose angle sum is 180. We have 105 here, so that means this angle will be 75, because 180 minus 105 is 75. And for this angle, uh, we're going to need a small construction. So I'm going to construct a line which is parallel to AB, also parallel to CD. Now this is 7, this whole angle is 75. Taking BO as transversal, this angle will also be 45, right? And 75 minus 45 is 35, so this angle will be 35. Now this line is also parallel, this line that I constructed is also parallel to CD, so taking OD as transversal, this angle is also equal to 35, and 75 plus 35 is oh sorry, this won't be 35, this will be 30. I was confused for a second, why is my answer being wrong? This is 30, this is 30, so 75 plus 30 is 105. Now second is either 60 or 40, we need to find out which one. In the given figure, if AB is parallel to CF and CD is parallel to FE, find the value of GFE plus BCG minus BSC. So this plus this minus this. Now we can find this BAC using triangle sum property simply. 180 minus 40 minus 65. 180 minus 40 is 140, and 140 minus 65 is 75. So this is 75. Now AB is parallel to CG, so this angle will also be 75, and CD is parallel to FE, so this angle will also be 75. So when we say GFE plus BCG minus BSC, GFE minus BSC will be 0. So you just have to find basically the measure of BCG, nothing else. Now for BCG, we figured out that this angle is 75 and this whole angle is 180. This is 65. 75 plus 65 is 140. That means this angle is 40. Answer is option C, 105 and 40. Read the given statements carefully and state T for true and F for false. Alright. The first one, if x plus 1 by x whole square is 3, then value of x cube plus 1 by x cube is equal to 3 root 3. This is again the same concept. First, you will take the root of both sides. So the square will be cancelled with the root. And so x plus 1 by x is equal to root 3. Now we do again the same thing. And so we'll get x cube plus, the same as that question, x cube plus 1 by cube plus 3 into x plus 1 by x is root 3. So we get 3 root 3. X cube plus 1 by x cube plus 3 root 3. And then when we cube on this side is equal to 3 root 3. That means that if x cube plus 1 by x cube plus 3 root 3 is 3 root 3, then that means x cube plus 1 by x cube must be 0. So that means the first statement is false. It's not C or D. And because in the third part both options are true, there is no point of doing the third part. Basically what you have to do, you have to rationalize it using the conjugate method I shared before, and then just plug in the values into there. That will give you the answer. For the second part, if x squared plus 1 by x is 27, then the value of x plus 1 by x and x minus 1 by x is what? So first let's find x plus 1 by x. Now x squared plus 1 by x squared is 27. So x squared plus 1 by x squared plus 2 is equal to 29, right? Because we're adding 2 to both sides, and a square plus b square plus 2ab is the formula for a plus b whole square. And 2 into x into 1 by x is equal to 2. So we can say that this is x plus 1 by x whole square is equal to 29, and so x plus 1 by x is equal to root 29, which will be a little more than 5 point something. Here it's given respectively 25, which is incorrect. So the answer is option B, false, false, true. And finally, the last question. It is again another one of the same type. Let's do question 2 first. It's a theoretical question. If the sum of a pair of opposite angles of a quadrilateral is 180, the quadrilateral is, this is a property I shared before, cyclic. The answer is cyclic. Now for the first part, both options are 3. There is no point in doing that. The third part. In the given figure, chord ED is parallel to the diameter AC of the circle. Given CBE is 25, if DEC is 1 by k into 455, the value of k is what? So I'm going to have to draw this diagram. I need as close to a perfect circle as possible. Nice. We have a diameter. Then we have a chord parallel to that diameter. We have EB. Then we have BC. Then we have this. So this is our entire figure. A, then this is the center, O, this is C, E, D, and B. And all we know is that this angle is 25 degrees. We basically, what we need to find is angle DEC, this angle. Now we have, there is a property, I forgot to join AE, right? This is our figure. Now there's a property that the diameter always subtends a 90-degree angle at the circumference. So therefore this angle AEC is equal to 90 degrees. Now there is another property of circles where if there are 2 points on the circumference, which in this case are E and C, when they subtend angles at 2 different points on the circumference, then those two angles will be equal. So if you did not understand it, basically uh, the points E and C are subtending this angle at the circumference and this angle at the circumference. So these two angles will be equal. Therefore the angle EAC comes out to be 25 degrees. Now by this is 90, this is 25. In triangle AEC, by triangle sum property, we get the angle ACE equal to 180 minus 90 minus 25 is equal to 65 degrees. And because AC is parallel to ED, taking CE as transversal, this is also equal to 65 degrees. Now we have 1 by K into 455. So 65 is equal to 455 upon K. Taking K to that side, 65 K is equal to 455 and K is equal to 455 upon 65, which comes out to be 7. So the answer is option B, 3 cyclic and 7. And that is the solution of the SOF, the S class 9 SOF IMO set B, level 1 answer key with explanations. There was one question whose option I had written wrong in the answer key. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to correct it while editing, hopefully. But thank you for watching.